Who did COINTELPRO Target? Have you ever wondered how political movements in the United States face challenges from the government? One significant program that played a role in this was the counterintelligence program, known as COINTELPRO. This program was active from 1956 to 1971 and was run by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It aimed to surveil, infiltrate, and disrupt organizations that were seen as radical or a threat to the established political and economic order. Initially, COINTELPRO focused on the Communist Party, reflecting the fears of communism during the Cold War. However, as time went on, it expanded its targets to include a variety of groups advocating for civil rights, social justice, and political change. One of the key targets was the Communist Party and the Trotskyist Socialist Workers' Party. These groups represented socialist and leftist movements that sought to challenge the existing power structures. Civil rights organizations were also heavily targeted, with leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. being labeled as significant threats due to their efforts against racial segregation and inequality. The Black Panther Party faced some of the most intense repression under COINTELPRO. Their militant stance against racial oppression and their community programs posed a direct challenge to the racial and economic status quo. Other Black nationalist groups advocating for racial justice and empowerment were also monitored closely. The American Indian movement was another target, as it sought to address indigenous rights and sovereignty. Puerto Rican independence activists were included as well, reflecting the government's interest in maintaining control over Puerto Rico. Feminist and anti-war groups also fell under COINTELPRO's scrutiny, as they challenged the dominant political and social order. Interestingly, even the Ku Klux Klan was surveilled, although the program primarily focused on groups that threatened racial and economic hierarchies. COINTELPRO employed illegal tactics such as infiltration, misinformation, and harassment to discredit these organizations and their leaders. From a socialist viewpoint, COINTELPRO represents a state effort to suppress movements that aim to redistribute power and resources more equitably. The program's actions against socialist, Black liberation, indigenous, and other radical groups reveal how for the state would go to protect capitalist interests and maintain existing hierarchies. Understanding COINTELPRO is vital for recognizing the historical challenges faced by labor and social movements in their fight for justice and equality. It shows how the government has intervened to maintain the status quo, often at the expense of marginalized communities seeking change.